This is my probably 30th take to record this video. After month and month of negative news, stock market plunge, the Fed hikes, the 10-year and a 2-year Treasury yield inversion, which usually predicts the recession. On Thursday, July 28th, the Bureau of Economic Activity has announced that GDP for the second quarter of 2022 came in negative, which followed by a first quarter of 2022 being negative as well. And a textbook definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of a negative GDP. If we follow a textbook definition, we are in a recession. The White House wants to argue that we are not in a recession and that there are other factors that determine whether we are in a recession or not. And what they are referring to in their article, which by the way, here's a screenshot of it, they're referring to a National Bureau of Economic Research, which usually conducts the research to determine whether we are in a recession or not. And they look at various factors such as production, sales, income, unemployment, etc. True, if you look at those factors, maybe we're not fully in a recession because this recession is odd. Usually during recession, the unemployment goes up. However, we haven't seen that in the market. On the contrary, unemployment has remained very low. It's historically low.
Steak! Where's my steak?
The lowest we've seen in the past 40 years. So, are we in a recession or not? By textbook definition, we are, but we need to wait for the National Bureau of Economic Research. There are, however, bad indicators in the market showing that the economy is not doing so well. For instance, home sales declined by 20%, the lowest in past 2 years. Also, the builders are stopping to build houses. Their sentiment has changed, and that could be seen from the applications for permits to build those single-family homes. Those applications are 8% lower, though retailers such as Walmart and Target are suggesting that the consumer sentiment has changed and the consumers are more inclined to spend money on the budget-friendly product. So the consumers are more reserved and consumers are more budget-oriented, which leaves these big companies with a lower profits. What should we do with all this information? Whether we are in a recession or not, what we know for a fact is for the remainder of 2022 and probably going into 2023, the Federal Reserve will continue hiking the rates to combat historically high inflation, which by the way came in at 9.1% in the month of July. The reading was for the month of June. When the Fed increases the interest rate, that means the cost of money goes up. As a society, we're so accustomed to borrowing money. So every time you need to borrow money, now you're going to be paying more interest. The money is going to be more expensive because the banks, instead of lending money to you to collect interest rate, they can just deposit money with the Federal Reserve and they can collect interest rate from that. Cost of mortgage is up. You know, I bought a house in 2022 during the historically low interest rates. So my interest rate, 2.75. I also caught the market before the crazy 2022 rally and I was able to purchase my house relatively lower. So mortgages are a lot higher right now. If I was to try to buy a house right now, I would probably be looking at a 5.7. That's probably why the sales are dropping, because people can't afford buying houses right now. Economy is not doing well. Hopefully the inflation comes down. With all that information and then with recession being here, whether you believe it or not, what should you do with your money? I am personally cutting all my unnecessary expenses. I've been doing that for a couple of months and I go through all my finances. If I catch something that's not supposed to be there, I contact the merchant or I contact the bank. Whether the merchant accidentally charged me or it's a trial I signed up and I forgot to cancel it. Whatever it is, I try to cut off all the expenses and I try to catch unnecessary charges. I'm just very, very disciplined when it comes to my money right now. Another thing I'm doing is I'm saving and I'm keeping as much cash as possible. Usually I keep about 6 months of expenses. Right now I'm at 12 months of expenses because I don't know what's going to happen with our businesses. We're starting to see declines in our sales due to the economy. If in 2021 everybody was getting those stimmies, right now nobody's getting those stimulus checks. Nobody has free money, spare money to spend. So we have to be conscious about how we spend our money. Another thing I'm doing is I'm looking into diversifying my income. And I've discussed that in previous videos. I'm trying to see if I can have other streams of income. As of right now, I have 4 streams of income. I'm trying to see if I can have more. If one of them doesn't make money for me, the other one does. And it kind of balances off. And I suggest for you to do the same. Finally, what I'm doing with my money is that I'm investing. I'm currently buying ETFs and individual stocks. If you want to see a separate video about things I'm buying and what I'm investing into, let me know in the comments below. But I have been investing heavily for the past 6 months. I know that the market has been declining, but I find it as an opportunity to diversify. I find it as an opportunity to buy those lovely stocks for cheaper, and I usually stick to a pretty simple rule I've been using for a couple of years now, and it's 50, 30, 20. 50% of my money goes into stocks and investments, 30% goes towards the lifestyle and the bills, and then 20% goes towards the cash pile, my emergency fund, the money that I need in case something doesn't work out, in case my business is not making money at the moment. Whatever it is that I need the money for, it's there. Now I know that stocks and ETFs are very liquid. You can basically sell them within seconds and have that money, but the last thing you want to do is invest into the stock and then sell them at loss. So I usually keep a pretty big chunk of money sitting on the side in case I need to utilize it. 2, deploy it towards an opportunity. 3, just for an emergency. Now, I might adjust this rule to 60, 30, 10, but right now, I want to make sure I'm keeping as much money on my hand as possible. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my videos, consider subscribing, consider liking or disliking this video, and leave a comment in the comment section and let me know where you want to see more from this channel. See you in the next one.